Hello children, I am Sunil Kumar Pandey, your English teacher from Cambridge International School, Dasua. Students, it's been quite a few weeks since I have been giving you written assignments related to your course First Language English. However, just a few of you responded, that too initially for the first few days, and after that even those responses stopped coming in. So I thought probably this had become too impersonal. Probably I should talk to you more often, even if indirectly, and try to make this more interactive, even from far away, even from the confines of our homes. So I decided to come up with these video lessons, and this is the first of the series. In this video lessons, I will discuss your course book. We will read various exercises of your course book together. I will explain the relevant parts. I will ask you to do certain exercises, and then I will also give my own answers to those same exercises with which you can compare your answers later on. So, some of you may have the book, some of you may not have the book, but that's not a problem. I will take extracts, the relevant extracts from the book, and post them for you regularly. You can either take a printout of that, or you can read it on another mobile or another laptop while watching this video and reading the book with me. So, this is your book, Cambridge ICSE First Language English Course Book. I have an older edition, 4th edition. This is by Marian Cox. Some of you may have the newer editions, but both are more or less the same. And as soon as I can get the latest edition, I will substitute this one for that, with that. So, I have taken extracts from Part 1, Travel and Sport, Unit 1, Reading Comprehension, in a worksheet, and I'm posting that along with this video. You can take printout or read it on another mobile or laptop. Alright, so we will only read the relevant parts. As you can read in the description, this unit focuses on reading for gist. Gist means the substance, the main part, and for specific information, on the selection of key points for summary, and on writer's choice of language. So you got it. This unit focuses on 1, 2, 3, 4 points. First point is reading for the substance, the subject matter, as well as for specific information. Second thing the unit focuses on is the selection of key points in order to be able to write a summary of a specific passage. And the final point this unit focuses on is the writer's choice of language. What kind of language choices the writers have, why they use these choices to create what effects, and so on. Now after this, skip points 1, 2, 3, come to skip the questions as well, come to the first passage. The instruction herein reads, scan the passage and find the single word in each paragraph which could be used as a no. Skip this point as well, come straight to the passage, taking a trip round Tenerife. Tenerife is the name of an island in Spain. I will read this passage together with you, or rather for you. Read it together with me. I am reading it with you so as to be able to explain a few parts that might be difficult and point out some things, some specific aspects which you should focus on. Okay, so I am starting. Follow me in the passage. The Spanish island of Tenerife lies about 300 kilometers off the West African coast and is the largest, most populous and most productive of the 7 Canary Islands, believed to be named after the ferocious dogs Canaria found there by early explorers. Santa Cruz is its capital and the shared capital with Las Palmas of the whole archipelago. Forgive me, I am reading from a laptop, so I might be unclear sometimes. The second paragraph. This rugged, rocky and steep island, steep with having very sharp slopes, looks up to all tide, looks up or overlooks. This is a very useful phrase. Note it down somewhere in your notebook. We use this phrase to describe a prominent feature of a landscape. If I say a huge fortress looks up to the town, or a huge fortress overlooks the town, it means that a huge fortress is the most prominent part of the landscape of that town. Alright. The third largest volcano in the world and the highest point in Spain at 3,718 meters. Its often snow-covered peak gave the island its name, which means white mountain. Ravines and valleys are another striking feature of the island's terrain. Terrain means landscape, and ravines are steep, deeply cut, sharply cut but shallow valleys. For example, the famous ravines of Chambal in our own country, India, which is rather infamous for its dacoits. Some of them formed by volcanic eruptions, 4 of which were recorded between 1704 and 1909. The island has 342 kilometers of coastline and boasts of nearly 70 kilometers of beach. The ones on the northern coast consisting of black sand rather than the lighter, finer sand of the south. Boast of is a very useful phrase in English. If someone or something has something else of which they can be proud of, we use this phrase. Our country boasts of several prominent historical buildings. This is in good sense. Sometimes it may also be in bad sense. For example, those boys often boast of, almost always boast of their riches. So that is in bad sense. So, but you need to learn the use of this phrase in the right positive context. Write down this phrase also somewhere in your notebook. Now, the island has two distinct landscapes and atmospheres. The lush green north. The lush is a very, very useful word. This is used to describe green and refreshing landscapes. Write down this word also somewhere in your notebook. And the barren developed south, barren infertile. Tenerife is known as the island of eternal spring, eternal that never ends, and spring is a season. And also spring also means a source of water in a mountain or from underneath the surface of the ground. So this phrase, this name might have been given to this island probably because it always has the spring season, or probably it has several such sources of fresh water. Since it is on the same latitude as the Sahara Desert, it enjoys a warm climate and plenty of sunshine all year round. No, here the first meaning applies. This climate, this island has a spring-like climate all the year round. That's why it is called the island of eternal spring. However, the trade winds create cloud and cold sea currents, keeping temperatures moderate, with an average of 13 to 18 degrees Celsius in the winter and 24 to 28 degrees Celsius in the summer. The Canaries are one of the major tourist destinations in the world, and tourism is Tenerife's main industry. With about 5 million visitors each year using one of its two airports, there are two main highways crossing the island, as well as dizzying narrow mountain roads in the north. Tourists mainly visit the south of the island, which is hotter and drier and has many resorts such as Playa de las Americas and Los Cristianos. The only new hotels, Tenerife, let me open the worksheet which I have prepared for you. Well, the only new hotels permitted to be built must be of 5-star quality to promote environmentally conscious development. Alright, let's read more about this interesting island. The area known as Costa Adige has many world-class facilities and leisure activities to offer besides sea and sand, such as quality shopping centers, golf courses, restaurants, water parks, animal parks, and a theater. In February, visitors can enjoy one of the world's largest carnivals you all are aware of. The distinctive local craft is Tenerife lace. Craft, also a locally made something which is of an artistic quality. So this is Tenerife lace, the embroidery of stretched cloth for table linen, pieces of cloth to use on tables. And these pieces of cloth have beautiful embroidery on them, which visitors can see being made. Wildlife attractions are the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, opened in 2013, the Botanical Gardens in Puerto de la Cruz, and a butterfly park in Icod de los Vinos. These all are Spanish names, so don't get terrified by these. Agriculture contributes only 10% to the island's economy, but it supports the landscape and the cultural values of the island. In the coastal areas, tomatoes and bananas are cultivated, and these are exported to mainland Spain and the rest of Europe. At lower and drier altitudes, potatoes, tobacco, and maize are the most common crops. Grapes are grown on steep north-facing slopes and onions in the south. Flowers are also produced for the export market. The islands are important to Spain as fishing grounds, so nothing that needs specific attention in this paragraph. Next paragraph. Tenerife has several archaeological sites, very old, consisting mainly of the cave paintings. Well, there is a difference between archaeological and historical. Historical are still, though both are old, historical are still newer. History is, or the word historical applies to a period for which we have written records, a period when language had been invented. On the other hand, archaeological refers to a period for which we do not have written records, when language itself had not been invented. Also noteworthy are the buildings, remarkable, important. Buildings called Guimar pyramids, whose origin is uncertain. Origin is uncertain means it's not clear who made them, why they were made. And the defensive castles located in the village of San Andres and elsewhere on the island. Castles are buildings bigger than normal houses and more in the nature of forts, but not as large as forts either. There are many other interesting historical buildings, such as the Convent of San Augustine and Church of San Marcos. Other impressive but more modern structures are the Auditoria de Tenerife at the entry port to the capital, and the Torres de Santa Cruz, a skyscraper, 120 meters high skyscrapers, I think you know, is a multi-storied building. There are pretty hill towns to look around, and from one of them, Masca, one can set off on the famous hike down the gorge. Gorge is again a steep and deep valley. This is full of rich vegetation, large and colorful plants, and a range of animal species. Garachico is a small, unspoiled fishing town whose quiet streets are dotted with bars, cafes, and gift shops. Note the difference between these two types of quiet. Q-U-I-E-T, quiet means calm, silent, and Q-U-I-T-E, quiet is quite different from this. Just find out what that quiet means. And there are some superb fish restaurants down by the harbor. Sightseeing in the nearby smaller town of Icod de los Vinos must include the island's most prized possession, the dragon tree. Note the use of must include here. It gives an impression that it is necessary. Is it necessary? It cannot be necessary, but it is so important that tourists would probably not miss. So this is the dragon tree, which stands in a preserved garden and is said to be approximately 1000 years old. This is the passage. Now, coming to the book, just give me a minute, please. We are not concerned with everything here. Just read the first key point which I have given in this worksheet. It reads, you should all, before that I have given a question. The question is later on. Okay. Key point 1 is you should always read unseen passages twice. First skim the text to get the gist, the main ideas and features, then scan for specific information to answer the question. So you have already skimmed the passage with me, you have got the gist. Now scan the passage for specific information which has been asked in the following questions. These questions are here which I have given to you. What are the most noticeable features of the scenery? What can tourists spend their time doing? What is the temperature like? What contributes to the economy? And what is there to see? You have to do these questions on a notebook and take a photograph and WhatsApp it to my number or mail it. WhatsApp will be better. And tomorrow I will post an answer key also. You can compare your answers with mine. Come to key point 2. In the book it is in box. Here I have extracted it. Paragraphing is a logical way of dividing text. Paragraphs usually consist of several sentences which group similar information together. A break between paragraphs shows a change of topic, time or place, as well as being necessary for structuring text. Paragraphs are a courtesy to the reader, a help to the reader. To aid their understanding, I have talked much about the importance of paragraphing to you already. I need not dwell on it further. The next question is based on paragraphing. Scan the passage and find the single word in each paragraph which could be used as a topic heading for that paragraph. Then key point 3, which is in another box in the book and extracted separately in this worksheet. About summary. A summary is a reduced version of a text and its aim is informative. When you summarize a passage, you need to identify the key words in the text, single words or phrases which tell you what each part of the text is about. There are certain parts of a passage not to be used in your summary. For example, repetitions, minor details, quotations or direct speech, imagery. Imagery means word pictures, examples and lists. Now the third question is based on this third key point. Put brackets in pencil around the material you would not use in a summary about the island. So here, it being your first exercise, you have not been asked to write a summary. You have only been asked to identify those parts which you would not include. I repeat, which you would not include in your summary. This is a very important exercise so as to be able to write an effective summary later on. So children, now do all these 3 questions along with their sub-questions in your notebook. You may take a photo and WhatsApp them to me. Alternatively, you may compare your answers with my answers tomorrow when I post my own answers along with the next such video. Okay, thank you. I take your leave now. We'll meet tomorrow again.